Operation Epic Fury.
Kuwait's army is intercepting Iranian missiles and drones over its own territory. Let that sink in. Tehran just sprayed the region while Trump hit back hard, and now the panic is spilling into Kuwait, Oman, and the shipping lanes. So stay here, because Rubio just dropped one line that crushes every single media excuse. We hit them very hard again tonight. That's what Trump said after 3 U.S. patriots were killed. That's the whole fight right there. Iran kills Americans, Trump makes them pay. And suddenly Kuwait is shooting down incoming missiles. A vessel gets hit near Oman, and the Houthis slap a total naval blockade on Saudi shipping through the Bab al-Mandeb. You see the pattern, right? Tehran is not strong. Tehran is cornered. And while Trump reestablishes deterrence, the New York Times and the war powers grandstanders try to turn American retaliation into the scandal. No, Iran started this, and Trump is finishing it. Also breaking right now, near record tungsten prices are sharpening pressure on Washington to secure the critical mineral supply chain as tungsten becomes a national security priority for fighter jets, tanks, missiles, drones, and ammunition. The United States has seen no U.S. commercial tungsten mining since 2015, and the president's Project Vault outlines a $12 billion strategic stockpile and $30 billion domestic production push, while the Pentagon has directed millions towards restarting U.S. tungsten production. Vault Strategic Mining, trading as KNOX in Canada and KNXFF in the United States, is reviving historic tungsten assets in mining-friendly U.S. jurisdictions, including Nevada's Great Basin in North America. Its flagship traces to a defense-related exploration contract from the Second World War, with approximately 10,000 feet already drilled and a USGS estimate of roughly 168,000 tons of tungsten oxide. You know what? It's carrying an estimated in-ground value of $30 to $50 billion. Make sure you check out the next news intelligence briefing that's been prepared for you. It's linked below to find out more. Now, Bab al-Mandeb just got named in a Houthi total maritime navigation ban on Saudi Arabia. Iran's terror clients are choking global trade in plain sight while Tehran pretends it wants talks. And then Rubio steps in and blows that fake diplomacy to pieces with just one sentence. So this just in: the Kuwaiti army intercepting Iranian missiles and drones incoming into its country after the, quote, heinous Iranian aggression.
So now we've got this breaking news. There is more escalation in the Middle East happening as we speak. The Kuwaiti army now reports it is intercepting Iranian missiles and drones incoming into its country. Remember, their large U.S. Army base in Kuwait. We'll get you the latest as soon as we continue.
So Kuwait says its air defenses are knocking down incoming missiles and drones. Now, the next flashpoint: Iranian media is pushing footage of a vessel that hit overnight near Oman in the Strait of Hormuz. This from Iranian state media. Releasing the footage shows a vessel attacked overnight. So after the smoke-filled scene near Oman, the pressure moves next. A Houthi spokesman announces a total naval blockade targeting Saudi Arabia and the Bab al-Mandeb choke point. Yemen Houthis declare total naval blockade on Saudi Arabia. Yemeni forces announce a full maritime ban on the criminal Saudi enemy. Siege for siege starting now. This cuts Saudi oil exports through Bab al-Mandeb Strait. Iran-backed savages are escalating global chaos incoming.
During this great and massive million-man march, on this Friday of warning and mobilization, and the major tribal gatherings and rallies that preceded it, the Yemeni armed forces officially affirmed the following. First, the Yemeni armed forces declare a total maritime navigation ban on the criminal Saudi enemy, following the equation of a siege for a siege, which goes into effect the moment this statement is announced. Second, we affirm the sovereign right of our great people to meet a siege with a siege, and total escalation with total escalation, firmly establishing this strategic equation. Third, the Yemeni armed forces assert their complete readiness for any and all options, and that any foolish act committed by the reckless Saudi enemy through total escalation will...
Yeah. I have a feeling Baghdad Bob over here isn't going to last very long. That blockade threat shows Tehran's proxy machine trying to choke global shipping. Now President Trump responds the way weak-kneed rhinos never do, saying the U.S. hit Iran hard again.
Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the Strait. They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them very hard again tonight. And we did that in honor of the probably three. It's probably three as opposed to two. Great patriots.
So Trump says the strikes were heavy and deliberate. Next, he goes even further, saying the mission is to end Iran's chance of getting a nuclear missile.
This is a far bigger job that we're doing. We were doing a little job of stopping them from having a certain capability. Now we're just ending it. So it's really not the same thing. What we're doing now is we're ending any chance where they could have a nuclear missile. If you look at it, after a week and a half, not 4 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, we stopped them from probably, but I don't want to have the word probably.
So Trump's message is simple: don't manage the threat, finish it. Next comes a surprise from the Senate, where Fetterman says he'll vote no on restricting Trump's war powers.
On the Kane resolution, which will come up tomorrow night, you vote no.
Well, I'll say this: I love that man, and he's coming in from a very principled side. But I'm going to vote no on that, simply because I would never want to restrict any future president, Republican or Democrat, to do this kind of a military kind of exercise that was very successful. This is
So even Fetterman admits the operation was successful and doesn't want Trump's hands tied. Now Secretary Rubio lays down the next condition. If Iran wants a different U.S. response, its behavior has to change.
We're always open to diplomacy. It has to be real. It has to be a deal that they're willing to live by. Look, Iran a week ago was supposed to put out a statement saying that the Straits of Hormuz would be open, that they would no longer attack shipping. And instead of doing that, they attacked 3 ships. I think that was last Friday or Saturday. So, I mean, their behavior has to change in order for ours to change.
So his warning's blunt. He backs up. In the next clip, he says agreement is dead on arrival if Iran keeps attacking ships with missiles and drones.
The MOU dead, or are we just back in full war?
Well, they're not complying with it. I mean, the straits are supposed to be open, free of tolls, free of attack, free of all the things they're doing against these ships. So you can't have an MOU that's alive if they're violating the terms of it. What I will say is that the United States always remains open to a diplomatic solution. We've tried multiple times with Iran, and we'll continue to try. If that door opens, we'll be happy to see it open. But and they continue to send signals that they want to talk, that they want to negotiate, but their behavior is what we're responding to. And their behavior is they're launching missiles and drones against ships, including tonight.
So he says diplomacy stays open, but not while Tehran is firing at shipping lanes. Meanwhile, the propaganda machine here at home kicks in. The Pentagon is now blasting the New York Times report as a smear against the U.S. military. Sean Purnell writes, the Department of War rejects these baseless and malicious accusations of hiding injury numbers as outright lies from partisan hacks at the New York Times who are desperate to smear America's military and its leadership. Claims of concealment are fabrications meant to further distress the American people in the wake of 3 service members killed in action. Disgusting behavior even for the New York Times. In fact, U.S. military casualty information is publicly available and regularly updated online on the Defense Casualty Analysis System for everyone, including the media, to review. Injuries in the military encompass everything from minor sprained ankles during routine training to incidents entirely unrelated to combat operations. Cherry-picking raw numbers without context paints a deliberately misleading and incomplete picture. Our troops execute the President's directives with excellence, supported by superior training, equipment, and medical care that prioritizes safety. This is the most transparent Department of War in history. We challenge the so-called journalists who wrote these lies, one of whom was recently subpoenaed regarding an alleged violation of a federal criminal law, to stop smears against the finest warfighting force on earth. And he links to the New York Times Pentagon headline, Pentagon withheld dozens of U.S. military injuries in Iran war. So after pushing back on the Times hit piece, the focus turns to the costs paid by American families. Next, Caroline Leavitt says Trump will attend the dignified transfer of the fallen at Dover. He will be attending the dignified transfer tomorrow evening at Dover Air Force Base. The President and the entire White House are praying for their families. So the tribute underscores what's at stake. Now, Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell delivers the answer terrorists and rogue regimes understand. If you kill Americans, we will hunt you down. Remember, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. Here is the Secretary of War.
Being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. President Trump has also been very consistent. Crazy regimes like Iran, hell-bent on prophetic Islamist delusions, cannot have nuclear weapons.
Next, Trump's own written order of battle, warning every American, every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay many times over. Every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that killing many times over. This directive has been passed on to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff Daniel Kaine, and every leader in the military, President Donald J. Trump. Their behavior has to change in order for ours to change. That's what Rubio said after Iran broke the shipping terms and kept launching missiles and drones. And that's the verdict, and it lands like a hammer because the Ayatollah's regime chose terror, chose escalation, chose dead Americans. So Trump hit Iran hard again, locked down deterrence, and started ending their shot at a nuclear missile for good. Donald Trump's directive said every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that many times over. And it's exactly the line Republicans need to hold. No sabotage, no fake hand-wringing, no media rewrite that turns Iranian aggression into some indictment of American force. Kuwait intercepted the missiles. The Houthis declared the blockade. A vessel got hit near Oman, and those are facts, and every one of them screams the same truth. Tehran lashes out when strength corners it. So I want you in the comments on this one. Should every Republican back Trump's response without blinking? Then share this one with one person still swallowing the lie that deterrence is escalation, and torch the New York Times while you're at it for smearing our military with that injury spin garbage in the middle of a live fight. Trump is honoring the fallen at Dover. Our side is serious, and the enemy's on notice. And Kuwait intercepting Iranian missiles is exactly why you need our inside track tonight. Text White House to 844-840-4963. Next News Network is credentialed inside the White House, and we send nightly reports pulled straight from the building to your phone before YouTube buries them and before the rest of the crowd can catch up.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.